Hello, welcome back. Right, the purpose of this video is basically Bazza made a cock-up. Last week I did my preview of the videos that are coming up this weekend, which are Split Personalities, Paperboy and Who Dares Wins 2. Make sure you tune in Friday, Saturday and Sunday at 1800 hours o'clock each day for those. But I completely forgot about the ZX High Score Challenge video that I got to do. Last week's was R-Type. That was won by Lee Ashton, aka Gravius. Go and check his channel out. I'll have a link in there below. And as the winner, he's chosen Pang, which I've got to do a high score video on. Now, I then thought I'll have a look at a game that's similar to it, but predates it by some years, Bubble Buster, from Hudson Soft and Sinclair Research, and compare the two side by side. So you get a double review, basically, and an extra special treat for being such wonderful people. So we're going to start with Pang, based on an arcade game by the Mitchell Corporation, and released by Ocean in, I think it was 1990. Now, this is a game that's considered like a really good arcade conversion on the Spectrum, and it's one I've never played, so you'll have to forgive me for the ineptitude on display in this video. Now, as you can see, you are the little bloke down there, and you've got to use your harpoon doodah, what's it thingamajig, to clear all the balloons out the way. They get smaller and smaller with each time you burst them. Clear everything, and that's it. That's you done. That's the level clear. Now, as you can see already, there are some power-ups in play. This particular one that freezes things. There are guns, lasers, and probably some other stuff, which me being as hopeless as I am, I'm never likely to see. So that bodes well for the ZX High Score Challenge, doesn't it? Now, I'm aware that Pang came out on an awful number of systems back in the day, but like I said, I've never played it before. I don't know it in the arcade. I don't know any other versions, don't even know the Spectrum one. It's got really nice music on the 128, as you can probably hear in the background beneath my incessant waffle. Really is nice. The graphics are nice. Now, the question I'm going to ask is, it came out on all these other systems, so what is the ultimate version of Pang? What's the best version in existence of it? And how does the Spectrum version compare, in particular alongside the best version and also the arcade version? And also, if you did play it in the arcade, what was it like? Sort of let me know. Now, I had a lot of fun with this. I really enjoyed it. The graphics are nice, although monochrome mostly, and you can obviously see some of the problems that's going to bring into play sort of later with the character sort of bleeding, sort of like being camouflaged chameleon-like into some of the backgrounds, etc. Can make things a little bit tricky to work out, but overall it's really nice. Now you can see there I've got the laser gun power up. It probably doesn't do me any good, but ever such a good game. I really enjoyed this, but I could only play it for 1 hour, that being the rules of the ZX High Score Challenge. So that's the reason, well, it's my excuse anyway, why this particular playthrough of it is so crap. So you're not going to see an awful lot of Pang in this video, but you know, it's just to give you a sort of overview, etc. So just take a slurp of my coffee. Hang on. Now, the Spectrum had a number of great arcade conversions. We're looking at sort of R-Type, Chase HQ, the Spectrum version, don't shoot me for this, the Spectrum version of Outrun, which I really enjoyed, but seems to polarise opinion. Some people think it's unplayably slow, but I always had quite a good time with it. We've got Renegade, Grisor, Motos, loads and loads of others. So jump in with what your favourite arcade conversion on the Spectrum is as well. Of course, there was also some complete crap, like Kung Fu Master, and I'll say no more than that because I feel the hairs on the back of my neck standing up whenever I mention Kung Fu Master. Tapper as well is one of my favourite arcade conversions, and I have done videos of those. So as ever, like to sort of like generate discussion surrounding these games or this particular game. You're going to see Bubble Buster, which is very similar. shortly. But are there any other games that are could be considered sort of similar, or is Pang and Bubble Buster sort of unique? Now, like I said, I don't know this game at all, other than sort of like through hearsay and reading about it in sort of like magazines and stuff. Never played it. Don't know why. I was still playing the Spectrum in 1990, but perhaps it just never appealed to me. But yeah, really great game. If you want to join the ZX High Score Challenge this week, it is a Pang is the game of the week. All you need to do is submit your video and use the hashtag ZX High Score, all one word, in the title of your video, and see how you get on and join in. And if you're a member of the Spectrum for Everyone Facebook group and the other Facebook groups, by all means post videos in there. The more people the merrier. And what we're doing at the moment is whoever wins the previous week's challenge gets to choose the next week's game. But we might change that, depends, because obviously you might get someone who's fantastically good at games, winning every challenge and choosing every game, basically. So we might change that, we're not sure yet. But it's all just a bit of fun, and the more the merrier. But yeah, I've enjoyed Pang. It's worth checking out if you haven't. And even if you did enjoy it back in the day and you haven't played it for years, go and revisit it again, because it is fun. And it's a good example of, you know, an arcade conversion done properly. So Rainbow Islands, Bubble Bobble, yeah, other good ones there. I don't think I've done Rainbow Islands. I've done Bubble Bobble, but not properly. One of my sort of very early videos where I was literally just pointing a camera at the screen and recording whilst playing one-handed, because I was holding my phone with the other one. Yeah, basically with Pang, levels get progressively harder, as you can see. You have to travel through 17 stages to get to the end of the game. I'm never ever going to get anywhere near that. But it's all part of the fun, isn't it? Sort of finding games and enjoying them. Now, this is an example of, you know, one of the games that is sort of suits me. It's not too difficult to sort of learn or pick up and get into, because I don't have an awful lot of time anymore nowadays with family, work, etc. There are some games that I'd love to put hours and hours into and try and learn. Things like Chaos, people have been trying to help me play that one. I just can't get the hang of it. It needs hours and hours sunk into it, and I just don't have that kind of time. Right, so Pang is coming to an end, and we are going to move very shortly into Bubble Buster, and you're going to see how similar these two games are. Now, this was by Hudson Soft. Yes, that Hudson Soft. And was released by Sinclair Research in 1984. Now, they also did a game that's very similar to Bomberman in style, called Eric and the Floaters, which I have reviewed only a couple of videos back. So if you're interested in seeing Hudson Soft's work on the ZX Spectrum, you've got Bubble Buster coming up here, and you've got Eric and the Floaters back there. I'm not sure if they did any more games. I will have a look. Now, it's very simple. Controls are A to L, left and right, space to fire, and it's more or less the same premise, but a lot more sort of primitive in terms of graphics, sound, upgrades, backgrounds, etc. And you will see that in play, and we'll go through it. So there we go. There's an explanation of the controls for Bubble Buster. Right, here we go. So we can see that's our little bloke at the bottom. You can see the differences between the two already, but you can also see the similarities already in how it's more or less the same game mechanic. Now, I don't know if I don't think Hudson Soft had anything to do with Pang in any way, shape or form. I believe this, according to World of Spectrum, is a conversion of an MSX game called Cannonball, as opposed to sort of Pang itself. And I don't know, you know, whether Mitchell Corporation, who did Pang, took the idea from there. But you know, it's much less playable. It's a lot clunkier, as you can see. But it's not a bad little game, but it's nowhere near as playable as their other effort that I mentioned, Eric and the Floaters. and you can see the bubbles sort of move quite slowly, and you know, it does get quite frantic, but it's just not as fun as Pang was. But then, you know, it's probably slightly unfair to, you know, directly compare the two of them. There are 7 years in between. It says 1983 there, on World of Spectrum it said 1984. There are 7 years between them, so obviously there's going to be, you know, gulfs in quality between the two of them. Now, it's not necessarily the case that just because a game looks simple that it's a bad game, and this isn't a bad game. It's just not as good as the game everyone will be familiar with, and if you already have and enjoy Pang, you probably don't really have any reason other than just it's a curio to go and check Bubble Buster out. So again, question, what's your experience of Bubble Buster? Have I just sprung this on you? This is the first time you've ever heard of it or seen it in action, etc. Or is this a game you owned back in the day and you enjoyed or didn't enjoy, etc.? Let me know. As ever, I'm always happy to see and hear other people's memories of these things. Now, of course, obviously, I'm back on Spectaculator for this. There may not be any videos next week because I'm going away over this weekend, and the weekend is usually when I do the following week's videos. So then you may get a week off from Baz's videos. But anyway, I'm going to let this double review play out. It's been fun to do. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know it's a little bit longer than normal, but I just wanted to show you the sort of two games side by side and sort of compare them and do a review of them. Now, Pang is easily the sort of clear winner in this one, but you know, Bubble Buster isn't a horrible game. It's just not as good as Pang, and obviously, you know, it's the much older game, and techniques and so on and so forth improved over time. So, you know, it's probably a little bit unfair to do that sort of kind of comparison. But there we go. Pang is the better of the two games, but Bubble Buster is clearly still worth a look, even as just as a curio. Thanks ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please let me know. If you wish to subscribe to the channel, please do so. But if you do subscribe, please make sure that you take the time to join in any of the discussions that we have, because that's what it's all about. Thank you. I hope your bank holiday weekend is fantastic. Have a great time. Take care of yourselves and goodbye. Bazza out. Over.